Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 17 of What If Naruto was betrayed by Hagoromo. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was a direct descendant of the sage. I'll be leaving a link down in the description for you guys to enjoy. It's over on Anime King, guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, both Naruto and Yujito were currently fighting in the arena, as they wanted to stop the match. Sarutobi thinking that this might be a bit too much for Naruto to handle, as a massive two-tailed demon stood there. Things were getting hectic, but Naruto gave him a look he had this. As the battle started, the Nibi didn't stand a chance. As the Nibi had noticed Naruto's eyes, the red Rinnegan had been activated, but the seal had been split down the middle. In Naruto's hand, the diamond was split in the middle. It still hadn't fully evaporated yet, as Naruto didn't have the 9 Megatama in his eyes, just the red Rinnegan alone. But with that, Naruto easily handled Nibi as he beat Yujito into submission, forcing her out of that state, as he fired off a concentrated blast of flames. As Naruto in power chakra running through it, the explosion forced all the Jonins to create a massive mud wall to protect the spectators. Even though the battle was tremendous and nearly harmed them, they were on the edge of their seat as smoke cleared, as Naruto stood there as he had won the battle. With his new eyes, Naruto was able to see a lot, not to mention chakra that he recognized in the Force of Death. His Byakugan was still activated even though his eyes were showing the Rinnegan that was strange. He didn't understand them, but he could feel the amount of power surging through his veins. It seems like he unlocked another dose of power. Naruto relayed the information to Jiraiya. The Raikage was here as well, along with Killer Bee. But before anything could be put into place, the invasion started. But the ninjas were notified, so they were ready to fight back. Naruto threw Gaara right out of the podium box, as Mito and Sasuke jumped down there to deal with him. Temari and Kankuro blocking their path, but they were going to deal with them same way. Meanwhile, as the battle started, Konoha was being overwhelmed. Ninjas from Kumo, ninjas from the Sound, ninjas from the Sand started to attack. Sarutobi was busy taking on Orochimaru, as Jiraiya was helping out with the invasion, squashing all the snakes. The Raikage found it strange that his troops were not going forward. There was a blockade. Making his way, he saw what was the blockade. A simple kid. Mito had sent their clones to protect the children in the academy, saving them from the onslaught that they were going to get, as Aruka and the academy teachers couldn't hold it. It was then that Naruto started to face off against the Raikage and Bee. The Raikage underestimated Naruto, that left him with a nasty bruise from Naruto's staff. As the real battle commenced, when Naruto brought lightning from the heavens, a yellow lightning that seemed to tear anything it touched. The Eight-Tails was shocked. Hatsumi couldn't believe what he was seeing. That boy, was he Naruto Osusuke? As this was bad, he told B to kill him. B asked why, but he told him to stop wasting time and kill that boy. As the war raged on, as Naruto started to take them on, deep down into the forest, as Mito and Sasuke had overpowered Gaara, forced him to transform and gave Shikaku complete control. The Eight-Tails had now emerged, and now Shikaku looked over as he saw, as he knew that father would be proud of him. Yes, he would have to take out his brother. So yeah guys, basically that's what I left off. You guys can switch across the page and check it for yourself. So what is the beginning of this new episode? Sarutobi was grunting. The man looked rather exhausted. The bodies of the first and second Hokage was currently being reanimated. Orochimaru simply smiled. I wonder, how long can you keep that up for? Eventually, though, you will fall, it doesn't matter. By your own predecessors. You may bring me down, or anyone else, but you will never fully extinguish the will of fire, Orochimaru. I thought I taught you that. This so-called will of fire of yours is nothing. Can't you see? Orochimaru says he extends his hands, looking towards a massive octopus that was towering near the edge of the village. And not to mention the Shikaku that was trampling the forest to go towards octopus. I have two Bijus on my side. Konoha will be nothing but shambles by the end of the day. Despite the situation, Sarutobi smiled. Seems like you didn't learn anything while being here. Us Konoha ninjas will never back down. And not to mention I have an ace in the hole that I believe will be a big part of taking care of those two. Orochimaru simply chuckled. You really expect anyone ever Shinobis to be able to fight a full-fledged Jinchuriki? Seems like you've gone senile in your old age. Sarutobi simply smiled. He, up to this point, didn't know what Naruto was. Because, in the history, he's never saw anyone produce that kind of power before. And not to mention, in the last battle, he saw Naruto take on a Jinchuriki by himself. Someone who had full control of their Biju. Not to mention those eyes, those red eyes of his, that look like a legend. Something that he once read about. And if that was the case, he knew that it was bad to depend on one boy. The other ninjas would be backing him up. But at that very moment, though, the barrier quivered. The solid four that was holding the barrier turned their head. Orochimaru turned his head as well, as the bodies of the first and the second was being reanimated. Sarutobi glanced and looked over as well. He saw the sky rupture for a second there. Yellow lightning rained down from the sky and struck where the mighty octopus was. The thing lost several of its tails, trying to blot the lightning when it simply sheared right through them. The thing squealing rage and chaos, destroying the surrounding forest. Who did that? Orochimaru said, confused. His mind then rushed on that boy. Before you die, old man, tell me, what is he? Sarutobi simply smiled. Stop smiling, I'm talking to you. What the hell is he? He can't be an ordinary kid. I've never seen someone with so much power before. So tell me, what is he? I'm afraid I can't tell you that. So keeping that secret to your grave, are you? No, the reason I can't tell you is because I myself don't even know. Meanwhile, Guy and Kakashi had stopped in the stadium. They had dealt with the bulk force of the Sound Ninjas. The Genins was also helping all around, bringing the people to safety. Kakashi looked up at the mighty 8 Tails. This is bad. This is bad. He saw the thing pull back its fist and thrust it. Kakashi saw something flying towards them, something small, until it became larger, forcing him and Guy to jump. Everyone turned their attention when something crashed in the stadium, breaking the ground as the body of the thing was crushed deep underground. They were confused as they saw the massive ATL charging towards the village. Jiraiya landed in the stadium. Get ready, he said, it's coming. As he started to go through hand signs, he had to summon every toad that was available at the moment to take down this beast. But before he could, all of them were blown back. Something ruptured the earth, the thing that had hit the earth. The body exploded out of it with a new vigor. His shirt was torn. All the cuts on his body started to be healed. As he pulled himself deep from the earth, his hair shadowing his eyes, before he flipped back his head as his hair went around. As Naruto Rinnegan was on full display. Now that's what I'm talking about. I haven't had this much fun in centuries, he said to himself. Guy and Kakashi and the others turned towards him, rather confused. The century mark. Naruto himself didn't know why he said that. Recently, I've been saying some things that didn't make sense, but it felt natural. Jiraiya was the first one to speak. Naruto, were you fighting that thing? Naruto raised his arm as his staff was sent sailing as he caught it. Yeah, and the fun is just beginning. Naruto, wait! Jerry could not stop him though. Naruto blasted off the ground, creating a crater where he stood. As they watch him sail towards the beast, the ninjas that were ahead watched the thing fly towards the sky. Tails lashed out from the octopus straight towards Naruto, twisting and turning in mid-air. Naruto bypassed all of them, not even knowing that he was flying. Reaching upon the thing's skull, he raised the staff in mid-air. The sky split open as he brought the staff down. Electricity once again poured from the sky. The A-tail had to raise his tails, a lot of them, as they were burned. The thing screeched out in pain. Lowering himself, Naruto's fist became engulfed with so much silver chakra it became blinding. Smash! The A-tails was literally lifted off its feet, its body being thrown violently straight back into the clearing. A distance away from Konoha, its 8 massive tails flapping through mid-air as the body crashed. Couple of Kumo ninjas that were there got trampled. Before Naruto could attack it once again, he had to spin around. The moment he did, a massive burst of air and sandstorm slapped into him. His body was sent sailing from mid-air as the sand dig into its skin, trying to creep in him, forcing him to crash in the earth violently. Shikaku laughed. "I've got you now," he said. Naruto pulled himself up once again. "So you're next, huh? Stupid raccoon," he said. Shikaku seemed to hear the boy as he looked down. "Father would be so proud of me when I kill you." "Father?" said Naruto. Shikaku simply laughed. "It's over," he said as he raised his hand. Naruto dropped instantly as he felt something strange going on. "My sand has invaded your body, and now I'll rip you from the inside out," said Shikaku. Naruto started to cough as he felt something strange going on, the sand moving under his skin. Shikaku saw the boy mobilize. "Instead, I'll just crush you." Shikaku made a dash towards Naruto. As big as he wasn't that fast. But suddenly, something was thrust violently through the air. It was thrown with tremendous speed. "Shidori's the voice!" Sasuke's entire body looked like it was coated in lightning. But it was because of the base of his hand that was coated in it. The Shidori ripped into Shikaku's palm, but he didn't stop. Sasuke barreled right through it, tearing through the joint of Shikaku's arm. The massive arm dropped to the ground in a pile of sand, causing Shikaku to screech out. He looked behind him with a dead glare. "Leave my brother alone," said Mito as she leaped right off Gamabunta's head. Hundreds of chains exploded from her body in mid-air. The chains were red with fire on them because they were taking on taint of the Kyuubi's power. All of them rained down on the massive beast, tearing into its skin. Shikaku cried out in pain. These chains were hurting unnaturally hard. "I have to kill him," Shikaku said. As he used his other hand and raised it towards Naruto, he started to bend the sand inside of Naruto. Naruto started screaming in pain before his eyes focused. Suddenly, from head to toe, Naruto's entire body turned to lava. Shocking, everyone around that was able to see what was going on. His body just exploded into pure lava. Shikaku felt the control of the sand lost as it was incinerated out of his bloodstream. As Naruto's body then returned back to normal, and strangely enough his pants was still intact, his chest still shirtless as he got back to his feet. Shikaku used the severed arm in the ground and burst it into pure sand as he launched it towards Gamabunta, forcing Gamabunta to jump back as Mito had to pull back with her chains as well. Mito panted as she looked towards the massive beast. "How do we send him back inside?" she asked. "You see that?" said Gamabunta. "Huh? Look on his forehead." Mito focused. "Hey, that red thing, is that?" She then heard something as she turned to see the massive 8 tails rushing. "Big brother," she cried out. The thing leaped off the ground. As Naruto looked up in the air, despite the situation, a big smile was on his face. He jumped back, pushing off with a burst of speed. But the moment he did though, the Raikage was right in front of him. The man's fist caught back with so much power, the electricity had left his body and added on to his fist. As he raised his arm in a strange way and slammed it into Naruto's throat. "Lariat," he said. The crackling lightning started to get even more dense. He was going to take the kid's head off. The Raikage was furious. He had to resort into using petty tricks by keeping the boy eyes on B for him to get so close. How was this boy so powerful? But that was enough. Now he will die. But to his surprise, the Raikage didn't feel the force behind his attack. It felt like his normal arm was hitting Naruto. As Naruto grinned even wider, the lightning completely vanished off the Raikage's palm. He felt weaker, like his chakra had been sapped. Naruto had his staff in his hand as he looked down. Big mistake. He brought the staff up and stabbed the 3 points. After all, the staff was like a fork with the 3 ends, right into the Raikage's arm. The man cried out in pain. It's unlikely that he has suffered that much in that one attack because, being the stature of the Raikage, the man had put his body through gruesome training, but this pain was unbearable. The moment the staff stabbed him, he felt something coursing in through his veins, something tearing his arm ligaments apart. He quickly tried to jump back, but Naruto was still upon him. Naruto raised his boot and slammed it in the man's face. The man's face was even tough like his body, but Naruto wasted no time and slammed it again, breaking the man's nose under the force, before jumping back, ripping out the staff out of his hand. The Raikage saw where the 3 points were. A strange black ink was spreading out over his hand. It was crawling up towards his shoulder. He quickly charged chakra into his other hand and sliced his arm off, right at the joint, as it dropped to the ground. The moment it did though, the thing withered away, like it had been poisoned. Darui and C quickly landed beside him. Stop the bleeding, C. C quickly went to tin on the Raikage's arm. Darui looked like he was been fighting. His hair was all messed up, blood was over his uniform. He was panting a bit. Boss, this is bad. Really bad, he said. I don't think that we can win this one. The Raikage looked towards him, his right hand man telling him that the situation had went from there was no way they could possibly lose to they were going to lose at the moment. The 8-tail was still there. The thing was badly hurt, nasty burn marks all over its body. In the 8-tail's mindscape, yo, Edo, what is going on with this particular flea? How can he produce so much power to beat we? We are supposed to be the strongest, Jinjuriki. B, I don't know what to tell you at the moment, but this boy, I have my suspicions on who it is. That is why we have to take him down. But he's been bullying us around from the very start. How can we take him to the park? We're gonna have to use a Biju bomb. We came here. It was the order given to you by your Raikage to take over Konoha. Lives will be lost, many of them. But we have to stop this boy, no matter what. What is your beef with him? You haven't seen him before. Have you? Or if you have, I would have seen him as well. B was for once not rapping. As he was getting stressed with the situation, things were not looking good at all. I'll explain to you later, B, but for right now, let's waste no time. Tell them about what you're gonna do. Yeah, B took control. Yo, bro, Shinobi's from the cloud. Back away, I'm gonna take this fool down, you know? B-sama said some way. As powerful as you are, this strange kid is something else. He has already shown his will to stop us from going anywhere near the village. He's even managed to take on the Raikage. What are you gonna do? Don't worry, Samui-chan. Killer Bee always have a plan. So make the ninjas move, because this is about to be a big shoot. Samui did as she was told, as she started to tell him to fall back. The Raikage looked towards B. If he was pulling out that, this was really serious. Well, he knew that situation was serious from the start, but this was just insane. He was just a darn kid. Meanwhile, the battle with Gaara had moved off, as Mito didn't want, as she saw the Shikaku targeting her brother. So she decided to make Gamabunta lead the way to another area. So at the moment, Gamabunta had thrown Sasuke once again, right towards the thing's face. Sand came up, a lot of it, to stop Sasuke, but Chain smashed into the sand. And for some strange reason, it repelled the sand, like it was restraining it. Different from the chain simply wrapping around the sand, this was strange. Sasuke went through hand sign as he finished. Fire style! Fire Dragon Jutsu, taking as much power as he could as he molded it in his throat. As he called upon the cursed mark, the silver flame patterns start to form as they all power towards his throat. The power ignites. Sasuke's mouth started to release steam as he held in the power for a bit longer, before releasing it right in the face of Shikaku. A massive. It was so large the flame consumed the area, blinding Shikaku for a moment. Sasuke hoped that did the job. He was exhausted as he started to fall from mid-air. Mito wastes no time as she was already on it in mid-air. Her chains lashed down towards the forehead of Shikaku. Yamamoto outstretched his hand as he jumped, catching Sasuke in mid-air. Sasuke was lying flat on his back. Mito pulled herself, recalling her chains, making her body drop like a bomb. She wastes no time. Wake the hell up, she said. She smashed her fist into Gaara's face. Gaara's eyes snapped open, wide. No, I have to kill him, Shikaku said. Father, I'm sorry. I'm going back in. Damn it, Shikaku cursed. As the sand started to break apart, and the both of them started to fall. Back towards Naruto. Standing there, he saw the people retreating. They were running. But he then turned towards the eight-tail, who was molding something in front of him. Naruto stood there intrigued. What is this now, he said. It was then that he saw the massive black ball. Back at the village. This is bad, said Jiraiya. I beat you, bomb. Jiraiya had his hands slammed together as he had to use Sage Mode now. He had to use the extra power to stop this, because if he did not, the leaf would surely fall. As he saw Anvus dashing from rooftop to rooftop, taking out the unwanted ninjas in the village. The ninjas that went into the center of the village was being taken down by the Inoshiko Cho squad, as Choza had gotten large and started to squash. But most of them were focused on what was about to come. Some of the leaf ninjas gave up hope right there. Who amongst them could stop a Bichu bomb? Their fourth Hokage did it once, but he had the technique. The Hokage was currently chopped away, while the ninjas here didn't have the power. Most of them were surprised that Naruto, that boy that fight off with two tails, was facing off against the eight tails, but it seems like he had been defeated because the eight tail was planting a Bichu bomb, and it was pointed straight towards the village. The rest of them saw Mito, as they couldn't believe the demon girl was facing off against Shikaku, and she won, because the thing was now in shambles. It had broken away into just pure sand, but their mind was still worrying about the Bichu bomb that was about to come. Who amongst them can stop that thing? Meanwhile, let's do this, B Hatsumi said. They fire off the Bichu bomb. The thing was large, massive, as it teared through the earth. Nothing could stop it. But in the midst of this all, Naruto stood there, his staff in one hand. Despite the situation being tremendous, a big grin split his face. The grin was so large, it was like he was welcoming the attack. He stood there unmoving. The power then started to pour. It was wild and untamed before it circled his body. His entire body got cased in that silver chakra. His eyes glowed ominously, the red glow being too intense. His eyes shining even though it was daytime. Naruto then bent his knees before turning towards the bomb. His staff then broke away as it came around his body. His entire body got coated in a black and silver armor. He turned himself straight towards the bomb as it was about to impact at any moment now. The ground under his feet broke as he made his first step. His step then turned to a full-blown run and a sprint before he dived. The ones that were seeing what was going on eyes went wide. But to their surprise, it didn't kill him right away. It did not bypass him, it stopped. And then it imploded from the inside. The explosion was deafening. The entire village of the Hina Leaf shook. Mito and Sasuke fell over. Gaara was leaning up against a tree, as he could not move at the moment after undergoing the situation of the one-tail transformation. As Mito was just walking up to him when they suddenly fall. Kankuro and Temaru were somewhere in the forest, so they had to get their brother out of here. This is becoming a failure for invasion. Sarutobi turned his head towards a massive explosion. He was busy at the moment though as his two clones were siphoning the life out of the first and the second. The both of their eyes returned back to normal as they apologized for what they did. But they were not the ones in control. Their soul would now be sealed away as he apologized as well, because their soul would go into the stomach of the Shinigami. As Orochimaru could not move, he felt his body becoming cold, his arms mostly. As he started to curse at the old man with all of his might, there was a sword sticking through Sarutobi. Despite the shaking, he did not let it turn him or stop him or anything. As Enma was holding on to the back of the blade, stopping from going in deeper. But Sarutobi knew that he didn't have the strength. But the explosion continued on for a long while, shaking the premise of Konoha as the village was in bad condition. Buildings being turned, cracked, glass being shattered because of the explosion. What if that had hit? The Kumo ninjas, on the other hand, were shocked. When they saw the dust start to clear away, the crater was large. No one could have survived that, right? Wrong. They saw something hooked onto the edge of the crater, pulling itself up out of the dirt. The black mesh around him started to sink back down to his hand as it turned into his staff. Laughter could be heard. The Raikage stood there confused. See, Darui, Samui, Karu and Amoy, all of them can't understand what is going on. But the worst person going on right now is Killer B. Hey Axabi, said B. His tone completely changed. What is this? How is he still standing? Answer me, what exactly is he? B. If he's the person I think he is, not only just us, but this entire world is in danger. We made a mistake coming here. A big one. Oh yes, you did. The both of them were shocked. You can hear us? Said B. No longer rapping. Seems I can, said Naruto. His eyes were focused on Natsumi, but he can hear their inter-monologue. Coming here was the biggest mistake you've made. Now, I'm gonna kill you all. As Naruto started to walk, the ground breaking under his feet, before he started to run once again. Even with his one arm, the Raikage was not a slouch, as he shot forward, only for Naruto to duck under his fist that would have taken off his head. The Raikage thought that he was the fastest man alive, but he didn't have much time to turn as the staff sank into his back. He cried out in pain. Luckily, Naruto had smacked him with it, not full-blown stabbed him, as his body was sent sailing. Darui and C rushed forward. C tried to place Naruto under a genjutsu. A massive beast appeared in front of Naruto with all kinds of tentacles trying to grab him and swallow him. But Naruto simply glanced towards the man. Darui was blown away along with C. Samui went through one sign as she was a massive lightning pulse, but it didn't even get 5 foot close to Naruto as it was absorbed. Amoy and Karui was standing there. They didn't know what to do. If the Raikage or no one else would stop him, how could they, as both of their hands were shaking? Naruto launched himself off the ground, going after the biggest threat here. The A-Tails was too weak after that. It needed to replenish its chakra, so it was unprepared when the fist smashed into its stomach. Its entire body was thrown back. Several Kumo ninjas were crushed under the weight as the body rummaged through the forest. But Naruto was not done yet. Slamming his hand together, the A-Tails cried out as the ground cracked and lava burst into its back, scorching it badly. As Naruto raised his hand above his head, thousands of black rods appear as he lowered his hand. They sailed from the sky and impaled the A-Tails all over. The thing cried out. They might be small, but they were painful. Rushing forward, Naruto grabbed one of the tails as he turned. When he turned, the A-Tail spin as he spin on his heel, taking the thing with him before launching it right towards Konoha. The people of the Hidden Leaf eyes went wide as the thing was coming down on them. But suddenly, Naruto crashed in the center of the village. Everyone taking a quick glance at him before he shoot back up in mid-air. Placing his hand forward, there was a ripple. A force unnaturally slammed into the A-Tails, shooting the thing further into the sky, before Naruto fly straight above it as it was sent over the village. Naruto raised his hand as the sky split open once again. Lightning covered his body as he looked like a miniature sun in mid-air. He brought his two hands together, forcing the lightning to condense Wind picked up around the lightning, water started to swirl, electrifying the water. Earth started to pick up around it. A strange metallic color was in it as well. Several other elements people they would never know. As Naruto had feeling all of them running through his mind, he condensed all of this into a ball before shooting forward. "Let's see you get up after this," he said. Naruto sank it right in the guts of the Eight Tails. The explosion forced everyone down below enemy and ninjas of the Hidden Leaf to close their eyes. It went on for a good 5 minutes. More damage was dealt to Konoha, but the body of the Eight Tail was getting smaller in mid-air as the entire front section was ripped out. Abiju was made from chakra, but the shape that he was in right now, blood was all over its body. Beaten as he crashed in the forest, it instantly shrank down. He no longer had the power to sustain it. What was left there though was B, who was covered in pure blood. The man couldn't even move, his entire body felt numb as his breath was shallowed. Everyone looked up as they saw the crevice of power just falling. Even after the massive explosion, there was a wave in the air that was falling down on everyone. Shinobis could bear it, but the civilians felt like their breath was being taken away. A natural force that was just beyond anything they've sensed before. Even more potent and deadly than Nine-Tailed Fox, those who were alive back then to tell the tale. And everyone saw who did it. Everyone saw who took out that massive Eight Tails. Like how everyone saw who took out the One Tails as well. Naruto crashed in the forest. The shinobis from the opposite village started to retreat. Mito had spoken to Gaara. Sasuke wanted to kill Gaara and get it over with, but Mito saw something in him, and it was the same for her being a Jinchuriki. If it wasn't for her brother, she would have turned out the same way. So instead of fighting him, she spoke with him. Instead of killing him, she spoke with him. His sister was grateful. As they were able to take Gaara and go, now the Sand team was retreating. The Sound team was retreating. The reason for that is Orochimaru had to flee. His arms were done for, seeing that Sarutobi had sealed them off. But with that happening, there was also a big loss to the Hidden Leaf, because the Hokage was now dead. The fighting was not over, so not many people knew. But as for Naruto as he landed, Killer Bee was on the ground coughing up blood. Making his way towards B, Naruto's staff was just floating beside him. "I told you this wouldn't end well for you." "But it doesn't matter," said Naruto. "That power inside of you. Can't tell you why, but I feel like it belongs to me." As Naruto's hands started to glow a silver light, "And I'm gonna be taking it." B couldn't even move and protest. His mouth was filled with blood. Naruto slammed his hand on B's stomach and started to pull. B cried out in pain, blood going all over his shades and his face, as Naruto ripped and ripped and ripped, siphoning out the chakra out of B, as the Eight Tails was yanked out of him brutally. Being a Jinchuriki for so long, and making a perfect connection with the Eight Tails, B did not die instantly. So, when a pissed off Raikage arrived, not looking in good shape, he saw Naruto holding his brother by his neck. The Raikage stood there as he stopped them from moving. Given how powerful this boy was, it wasn't wise to do anything stupid at the moment. He was now regretting everything coming here in the first place. As he realized it was time to go, the war was over, as he could see ninjas already retreating from the Sound and Sand, and Kumo could not stand up to the village, especially seeing that this boy was here. "This is over. Give me my brother." Naruto started to laugh. "What the hell is so funny?" said Raikage. "I told you this is over. Hand over my brother before I make this worse for you." "Me?" said Naruto. "Seems like you don't understand the situation here. I could give two shits about what you're talking about. You came in here and attacked the village. Do you think I would just let you escape like that? Your Hokage will make the right move, and I'm not the Hokage," said Naruto. "I know how soft the old man is when it comes to certain things. But you see me," said Naruto. Raising his hand, Naruto did his hand around B's head, applying too much pressure, snap! The Raikage eyes went wide. Naruto picked up B by the shoulder with such ease and threw his dead body over to him as the Raikage caught it with his one arm. He just watched his boy snapped his brother's neck right in front of him. I already told you I'm not the Raikage, so if you want a war, bring it on. I'll come to Kumo myself, and perhaps I'll wreak a little bit of havoc there. So, what do you say? You want to continue, said Naruto, or do you want to run? The Raikage was furious, but he knew that he didn't have the chakra to fight this boy anymore. But the boy just murdered his brother right in front of him. His entire body was shaking. Boss, you know we can't stay here. You can already sense them coming, a lot of them. They're going to investigate what is going on. Both of us are weakened at the moment. We need to make a tactical retreat. The Raikage turned towards Naruto. I'll be back. And when I do come back, I'll be leaving with your head. Anytime, any place, said Naruto. As Naruto watched them all flicker away with B's body. Naruto was never one to stray from a fight. Given the amount of power that he just showed, why didn't he just kill them? There was a reason though. Dropping towards his hands and knees, Naruto started to vomit. He started to vomit up blood. As his entire body was shaking, it was aching on the inside. Jumping into that Biju bomb was definitely not good. He absorbed too much power as they strained his coils, and it was a rush, absorbing the eight tails inside himself as well. Unnatural power, and the eight tail was fighting the entire way in. But it was not anything to kill him or severely harm him. But it still caused him a bit of injury as he wiped his mouth. But his body still felt flush, but he had a worry of tiredness to him, and a pain coursing through his entire system. He smiled as he felt Mito's chakra. She was coming as well. He knew that she and Sasuke would be able to take down that giant Chikaku, as he could feel like Gaara was leaving the village though. It seems awake in his eyes. He has gotten a different sense of awareness of the place. He was able to sense everything for so far. Despite not looking, he could tell exactly who it was. It felt like all chakra belonged to him, and it's just a matter of time before he gets it back. Why the hell is that? And why has he been talking so strange recently? And the Shikaku said that father would be proud if he killed him. Who was the Tailbeast's father? And why did Shikaku want to kill him? Was that because he disrespected Gaara? He doubted that. Well, it doesn't matter now. The war was finally over. But for some reason he could sense everyone's chakra but the old man's. Where the hell was he? He should be taking everything right now. In consideration, given that he just went through a war. After all, they should be going back to Kumo in a couple of days to wreak havoc there. Not to mention they kill one of their Jinchurikis. And plus, Naruto is the only one that knew where the other one was. Kumo was weak. They should annihilate them, make them suffer. Those filthy, disgusting humans deserve to live. As Naruto was speaking, he started to drift off, slowly speaking in sleep. His voice, still the same, but it had a bit of an edge to it. Seems we're still not one yet. The steel is still separating me from making interaction with their consciousness. But soon enough, Naruto was mocking. You will know what true power is when we both unite. This world will quake when I arrive. Naruto was speaking to himself, his eyes closed. Just a bit more time. It's almost there. Just another big push, and this world will understand what true pain was. The first thing I'll do is release Ragnarok. That day the world will understand that the past was not a myth, and gods really do live amongst them. They will understand who Naruto Uzumaki is. Meanwhile, the Hakusebi was looking around confused. It was in a strange area, nothing but grass, until it heard a voice. Demon, making it look up. As it had to squint its eyes for a second there. Where the hell am I? It asked. Be quiet. I am the one talking here, you just listen. The first thing you should know is that you're done for. I'm gonna strip your consciousness away from you and take your power. After all, it doesn't belong to you. Who the hell are you? The Hakusebi said, feeling suddenly scared. A demon to be scared? That was strange, yes it was. Seems your father didn't teach you well. That is what you call him, right? Your father. You. You're him, aren't you? The Haxabedian saw him jump down from a throne, land right on his feet, long white hair, golden eyes looking back at him. You're Naruto Osusuki, aren't you? So, Hagoromo told you about me, didn't he? Yes, father did. He let us felt your chakra and know that you're him. How are you here? I don't have to explain myself to your kind. But it doesn't matter, you're gonna be dead soon anyway, so I guess I can tell you something. You should know that I've been here for a long time now. It seems your father, Dreadful Seal, has been keeping me at bay. You call him our father, he's your brother, isn't he? Brother? Hagoromo and Hamura is no brother of mine. They are just two bastards who seal me away. Two bastards who'd condemn this world to hell. What do you mean? Well, I warned them. I warned them so much, sealing me away will end this world. You wanna know why it would end the world? Why? Because once I get out of here, I'm going to slaughter mankind. The Haxabi looked at Naruto. Then what? Just slaughter mankind like that? And what after that? Oh, not just slaughter mankind. You don't understand. Some people will get killed. Yes, the people I think that deserve to die. But that's not the whole big deal. I'm going to take over this pitiful world. Hagoromo and Hamura sealed me away because they wanted peace. They wanted a world where I didn't exist because they knew, and they fear my power. But now, as you can see, I'm back. My other half outside, Naruto Uzumaki, don't have my full power. Because if he did, Kumo would have been annihilated within seconds. You, beast, you should know what I'm capable of. Your father must have told you. Yes, I know how powerful you are. Well, he's wrong. You should know something. In that last battle, I was holding back. For our brothership's sake. I didn't want to hurt them too much to cause them too much pain. They were my little brothers after all. The Haxabi looked at him strangely. What, didn't know? I was the one that born first. Mother always loved me the best. They probably hated me because of jealousy. Don't know. But they picked humanity over me. Would you really pick humanity over your own flesh and blood? I guess you would understand that, wouldn't you? After all, you're a demon, and humans have sealed you away. So I want to ask you a question, beast. Why not join my side? Join your side? Someone like you that would bring chaos to the world. Never! What did you do to me? Well, given that you're here, that container of yours I extracted from you, well, my other half did. Seems like he's becoming more and more like me. Ruthlessness. You should know back in the days, they called me the god of war. Because violence and chaos. War with me and Hagoromo and Hamura. Not the real battle, but practice spars. Usually destroy mountains. We had to go to secluded areas so people didn't die. I didn't hear about that, but Hagoromo and Hamura are always whining about things like that. Those were the days. And I intend to bring that all back to this world to cause chaos and havoc. Then and only then will I enjoy myself. It's only a matter of time though, as you can see. The Haxabi turned as he saw a strange shimmering wall with several cracks on it. This is what is binding me here. But the more cracks, the more power I can seep through. But at the moment my other half doesn't have his full power yet. But once it breaks, the both of us will reunite. And I can finally free this place. I can finally walk amongst living once again. And destroy this pitiful world. But it doesn't matter because you're not going to be around to see it. Naruto raised his hand. Suddenly, Haxabi realized he couldn't move. He cried out in pain and a black rod stabbed into his back, ripping through his stomach. As his face crashed in the earth. I don't know where you demons go when your consciousness have been ripped away. But I hope you burn. Being Hagoromo creation, I hate you all. So, I hope you go somewhere you receive nothing but agonizing pain. I hope you all the worst, said Naruto. The Haxabi was then ripped away from his chakra as Naruto destroyed his consciousness, and it was gone. He then lowered his hand as the chakra flew into the earth below him. It was just stored there, along with the other half of Nine-Tailed chakra, but those didn't matter to him. They didn't even compare to his power, or to Ragnarok. Time skip. The rain was pouring. Yes, hard. It seemed that the entire village was crying for the loss that they had. One big loss especially was the third Hokage. People were walking towards his grave with flour. As Naruto made his way towards the grave with Mito, Mito kneeled down as she started to weep and speak to the old man, even though he wasn't here. Standing there, unmoving, Naruto waited until Mito was finished before placing a flower down. As Naruto kneeled down, Sasuke stood beside Mito, as she couldn't take that she broke down, but he held on to her as she cried, trying to comfort her as best as he can. As Naruto smiled at the grave, it was a rather grim smile. To think your former student take you out, that's quite shameful. But don't worry. Me and you used to play shogi together, and a lot of board games. You were the first one to understand my mindset, because you know how complex I get on certain things. But as I said, you don't have to worry, because I'll find that snake. I'll hunt him down, and I won't just kill him. I will brutally tear him limb from limb. I'll make him experience every single pain that everyone else is feeling, especially my sister, to their death. And I'll also crush Kumo, and the Sun, and the Sun as well. I'll kill every single one of them if I have to. They think they can just come here and leave. There will be no partnership between our village again. I'll make sure of that. If they even try, and if the new Hokage want to, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna exile each and every one of them. I promise you this. I know you would hate me telling you all these things. You'd probably tell me never to do it. But the funny thing is, you're dead, so you can't really stop me. So, you can rest in your grave and know that I'll be killing all of them. It is a promise that I'll make you from today. I know you wouldn't want me to put it on your name, so I won't. I'm gonna do it because I want to. Even though I dislike this village, after all the crap they put my sister through. She still loves the village and she wants to become Hokage. They came in here expecting to kill you, to take over the village. So when she become Hokage, they think they can do the same thing. I won't allow that. I'll slaughter each and every one of them. That's a promise. With that, Naruto got to his feet as he turned towards Mito, who was sniffling. Sasuke argued his best to calm her down. Haku was at Naruto's other side, as she had backed away, allowing him to say his farewells to the old man. Are you alright, Naruto-kun? She asked. Don't worry, I'm fine, said Naruto. Naruto held out his arm as Mito came towards him. He's gone, she said. He's really gone. I always thought of him as someone untouchable. Even his old age, I thought he will always go through it. But he's now dead, she said, as she tried to wipe away the tears. Go ahead, cry, said Naruto. Don't bottle it up. Release it. But you're still standing and the village is still standing. If I know the old man, that is what he would have wanted. He would have risked his life for anything, so that his village will stand. Hokages are like that, you know. Mito simply breathed down again. She started to cry as Naruto held on to her. Time skip. A few days passed since the event. The village has been looking a bit gloomy since everything. Process of rebuilding was on their way. Not being the right age yet, Naruto could not take up the seat as the clan head. Neither could Sasuke. So decisions were made without any of them being involved. At the moment, Jiraiya was making his way down the road. The elders had been forced him to become Hokage, something he didn't really want. Nothing has been said or done to Kumo or the other villages yet, seeing that they didn't have a Hokage. He knew the perfect person for the job though, but he needed 2 people to help him find her. This was a good opportunity to bond with Naruto, and also bring Mito along. She was his goddaughter after all, and Naruto was his godson. and also learn some more about Naruto as well. To say it bluntly, Jerry believed that Naruto was stronger than him. That sounds crazy, but the kid has shown remarkable abilities. Things that most ninjas will never be able to do. Take on the 8 Tails and win. Jerry hasn't seen him or spoken to him since the event. The only day he saw him was when the funeral happened. But after that he simply vanished. He went by to talk to him and Mito, but Mito was the only one there. She said she didn't know where he was. Jerry just stayed behind and comforted her. She was missing the old man bad. As he felt bad as well, that he wasn't in there to help Sarutobi. But at the moment the village needed a leader, and he will not let Sarutobi sacrifice me for nothing. He will protect the village no matter what, but they still need a suitable leader, and he knew exactly who he wanted. So he was off to find Naruto and Mito at the moment. Meanwhile, at Kumo, the Raikage was in his office. He was pissed. The man has been pissed for a couple of days now. He went into Konoha with 2 Jinchurikis and leave with none. And he left with his brother's dead body. He didn't know where Yujito was. He hadn't seen her the entire time, given that he was not exactly within Konoha walls. The man was pissed. He lost an arm as well. He wanted that boy dead. Yes, he wanted that boy to die. But at the moment Kumo was weakened, he did not bring the bulk of his force. But if that one boy could stop B, and even him, how were they gonna breach Kumo? As he released a long tired sigh, Konoha has not sent a letter or retaliation yet, but he knew soon there would be something. He would just have to buy his time because at the moment, even with his one arm, and their loss of power, they couldn't do anything. He cursed himself for following the deal of Orochimaru, that snake. Look what he has drawn him in. Now he will have to worry about his village safety if Konoha decide to retaliate, which he doubt they will given their strength right now, but they will demand compensation for what happened. As he released a long breath. Damn it, this was bad. Meanwhile, at the Leaf Village, what? Koharu and Ohmiro were surprised. She escaped? The Anvu commander shook his head. No, she was taken. So she was taken back to the village, Ohmiro said. No, by one of our shinobis. What? Said Koharu. It was Naruto Uzumaki. The both of them were shocked. They thought that the Jinchuriki was in custody, the girl that the boy had defeated in the Chunin exams. But they come to find out that she was gone. She was taken by that boy. How was she taken? While the event was going on outside, and the chaos started, he came down here and took her. But how? Wasn't she being secured by Anvus? Yes, but he walked through the wall. What do you mean? I don't understand myself. I've gotten reports from my operative that he literally walked through the wall and came and took her, and then walked through the wall with her, unconscious. The both of them clenched their fists. So where is she now? Refusing to hand her over. He said that she's his prisoner. What? Does this boy feel like he can do anything that he wants to? Go and take her by force. I've already talked to Jiraiya-sama about this, and he doesn't feel that would be wise. Why not? Don't you remember what the boy did to the 8 Tails Jinchuriki by himself? He literally stopped a bulk of Kumo forces from entering village. I'm going to have to respectfully deny that request. That boy is unnatural to everyone here. His powers seem to even surpass Jiraiya the Sannin. It may sound ludicrous given that he's just a boy, but given the certain situations, things can't just go along like that. So, are we just gonna allow him to do what he wants? The commander said nothing as Koharu and Homura stood there. They will have to bring up a council meeting to get this boy's attitude straight. Why the hell should they care if he was strong? Meanwhile, Yujito slowly groaned. Her body has been in stasis for a while now, forcefully put to sleep by Naruto, as he did something to her. She was finally waking up. Her eyes fluttered as the place was kind of dark, as she blinked twice, before her eyes met his, that same smile on his face. Oh, hello there. Finally awake, I see. But guys, if you end episode right here, if you want to see the next part of these channels, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon, peace.